Welcome. This is Bob Grant, and today I have a special guest, Mike Goldstein. And Mike, it's nice to have you. I know we got to meet on YouTube a few weeks ago. I'm glad you could join us.
Thank you for having me, Bob. I'm really happy to be here.
So one reason I liked about you and having you on is because you do things a little different than I do. We're serving the same. We're trying to help women with their relationships, trying to help them either get unstuck and just finally, have that relationship that they've always wanted. So in talking with Mike, one of the things I noticed is, my background is a therapist. And so everything with me, for the most part, is look inside, tell me your internal world. And, that has a big effect on your circumstances. But, Mike, I get a lot of women that ask me practical questions. And I can do those, but from listening to you, you're really good at it. I mean, just pragmatically do this, do that, especially when it comes to dating, because I don't know that anyone really wants to be great at dating, but they want the result. And from talking with people that know you, you're great at getting results for ladies. So can you tell us just a little bit about what you do? Because I found it really interesting, versus most of the coaches I talk with.
Yeah. It all started like a long time ago, about 15 years ago or so, where I saw my soccer coach was just going on a ton of dates. He kind of reminded me of James Bond, English guy, accent, literally had the silver Z3. And he just kept going on all these dates. And I was like, what are you doing? And he showed me his online dating methodology. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And as a salesperson, I was like, I think we can implement this. And so then I started testing it before I started my company. And I got 7 people married using this system.
Oh, wow.
And then that got me on the Today Show. And then that got me partnered with Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony approximately 10 years ago-ish. So now I've been using the same system, but with the backing of all the data from Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony. And now we've got this really succinct system that gets 83% of my clients into relationship.
Oh, wow. So not just something that you're a marketer and you thought this would be a good niche, and let's see if we can sell something. And apologies to those marketers that are out there, but you're talking about the real deal, actually taking someone, not hiring a matchmaker, but actually just using the tools that are available to everyone. And you're getting that kind of results for people?
Absolutely, Bob.
So this is, if you're hearing, this is what really piqued my attention, because most of the stuff I'm used to hearing is, have the perfect line or perfect line and these techniques and all, and they end up making someone kind of artificially who they're not. So tell us a little bit more about, I'm fascinated to know more because that's what I think most women tell me about, is that I've got to exaggerate stuff. The worst one I hear is I got to lie about my age. I get why, but I hear that and I just cringe, that I've got it. So, I hear those type of things of suppression and exaggeration. You're talking about something different, though, it sounds like.
No, for anyone who knows me, I'm a man of immense integrity, or at least I always try to be. Mm-hmm. If a client wants to lie about their age, I actually won't even take them on. It's just not my thing. If you're 63, we're going to say you're 63. And what we're interested is a man that wants a 63-year-old woman who is exactly who you are. So my job is to drag authenticity out of folks and drag vulnerability and then put that on a page with them. So we would hop on Zoom and we would literally document who they are. And I'm going to ask them, some prickly questions, because I want to know if they love Harry Potter and dress up in Harry Potter garment every Friday. I want to put that out there, because some guy's going to be like, whoa, she dresses as Harry Potter every Friday. I want to date her. And then other men are going to be like, what? That's weird, and want nothing to do with that. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to funnel men into the right path. This isn't for you, or this is for me. And we need to get really efficient and good at that so that we can get women to the right men.
So I love that part about if she's 63 and loves Harry Potter, that especially the part I love about is how that repels those guys that are interested in that. Now, when I talk with women, the fear is, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose all these good candidates. I know you've had this conversation. What do you say to them about that? Because I get excited about, oh, thank goodness. But what do you say to them?
Exactly. I'm trying to lose people. I want to lose as many people as we can. I want to be in this really small niche because I don't want to waste time. Time is our most valuable asset. So my job is to get folks on high quality dates. And we need to do that by being wildly specific about who we are and start deterring way more people than are actually interested. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And I'm thinking about, there's a few clients I've had, and it goes something like, but Bob, there won't be any men. That people tell me I'm so picky. I'm just too picky. And just maybe I should, just broaden my horizons more. And I hear the fear with that they're having. I'm afraid if I do this, what they're talking about picky to me sounds a lot different than what you're talking about. I don't even think it's picky, the word. I think authentic is a great word for it, as opposed to being picky, like all these things I don't want. But how do you navigate that with them? Because I know it's a fear they have, and I know you've heard it a lot.
Yeah. I just want to tell women that there's a lot of men that don't make sense for you out there. So I want to validate all the women that are online and maybe they're starting to look inside themselves and maybe I'm too picky. I want to say there's a good chance you're not. And let me explain with the math. If you get incoming messages on, let's say, Match.com, 95% of the messages is not going to be a good person to go on a date with. So that means when you get 20 messages, 19 of them don't make sense for you. So that math is horrible. 20 messages, only one of them makes sense for you. That's awful. So what we do to get better math for you is we actually send messages, Bob. I have a system that we call 50-12-1, which is where we're going to message 50 guys, asking them out on a date. So we ask 50 guys out on a date, and we do that in about 20 minutes. It's very quick. Last message. We can still do that. Men, if you're listening, you cannot do that. Women can only do this. We blast 50 guys, say, do you want to go on a date? I'm expecting approximately 12 to say, yes, I do want to go on a date. From the 12, we're then going to analyze those 12 and pick one to go on a date with every week. We will repeat that 6 to 8 times. And most of the time, you will find someone you like and you can start dating and building towards exclusivity. And then that's it.
That sounds so simple. And when I think about simple, I always go back to like Apple products when they first came out. I mean, incredibly complex, but they made it so simple. And that's what that sounds like. And tell me, because part of what I'm thinking is send out 50. There gets into how do I pick out the 50, the 40? How do I know which one to? I mean, it sounds like the real, I don't know if secret sauce is the word, but expertise is like sort of helping them or using it to narrow down to these are the better candidates for me. Because I know sometimes I've had clients that base it on intensity. That if I feel really intense, that's probably the one for me. But then you kind of look at his history or his record, and he doesn't like to work. He doesn't say it that way. Working is a hobby, or just stuff that just on paper you'd never go out with this guy in real life. I mean, if you met him and heard this, you would never. But you're giving him a chance because you feel this thing. Do you have issues with that with him, or is there some common, I don't know, drawbacks or hesitations? Is the right way to put it?
I think there's 2 questions here. It started with, Apple. It's easy. Yes, what I'm talking about, the theory of it is very easy. The execution's another thing. Getting the right pictures, getting the right profile, figuring out who to select. Going on a bad date and keeping a happy mindset. So on the second date where it's actually the right guy, you're still, in a bubbly, happy state and willing to be vulnerable and authentic. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, but yes, the concept is very easy. And then we got to go execute, and the execution is what gets results. But sorry, what was the second question?
No, actually, because that leads to the second part, whatever it was, I'm going to skip it because you brought up something I like even better, which is the mindset. So tell us about how mindset wise, most folks I talk with, it's about be positive all the time, be super positive. To the point of if a guy does something rude, they're going to be positive. but you're talking about something different, it sounds like, because even that pain look on your face,
Yeah.
the same thing. So what do you mean with them about a mindset? Because I can see how critical that would be.
Yeah. I mean, as we know, like we're only happy 40% of the time. So happiness is a fleeting emotion that we're constantly trying to go towards. But anyway, sorry, say the question one more time so I can redirect.
Yeah, sure. So what is it when you say mindset? That's a big part of what you're talking about. So help us with that, please.
Yeah. So first thing is getting in a place where you feel like life is pretty good. Like everything's in order, your finances, your job, your family, like not everything's perfect. There's no such thing, but like it's pretty good. You feel set. You're happy with where you are. Now your mindset is, I want to fall in love. I want life partnership. I want to get married, whatever it is. Once you've decided this is my goal, this is top priority, everything is about accomplishing that goal. Anything that gets in your way of it, you don't even think about. For example, when we're messaging 50 guys and 12 of them say yes, 38 of them are going to say no, or 38 of them, or a bunch of them don't respond, or like Ted looks so good, Bob. I was so excited about Ted. Ted didn't respond. We don't spend 1 second thinking about Ted. All our energy is towards the 12 that responded, and then trying to figure out which one should be our one that gets a date. So just being really straightforward on this. And then if we've got a guy that's on date 3 that sounds promising versus a guy that's date 1, and they're both asking for a Thursday date, the priority goes to the guy who's on date 3, because that's closer to our finish line of falling in love. So it's this mindset of, what is my goal? Is every action taking me towards it? Does that make sense?
I tell you, it only makes sense. What I like is I'm thinking about all the ladies watching, which is what you're talking about, at least I think of, is that when someone is worried about Ted, I mean, I know this phrase gets used a lot, a scarcity mindset. The idea is that, oh my goodness, if Ted doesn't, then there's all this meaning attached to it. But I love this is my term, the ruthless approach to it of, I'm going to marry a wonderful man. I'm period. I'm going to, okay. And if Ted didn't do it, that doesn't change the goal. I love that part. And those watching, some of this I'm learning for the first time. Mike Dunn, I talked a little bit, but some of the details really do fascinate me, because this is new for me, the way he's doing it. And that mindset about it, because I hear the loyalty you're talking about to her dream. It's just, you told me, said what you wanted. And some guy that doesn't want to go out with you is not what you described, as opposed to, let's change that because it's Ted or whatever, Steve, or, one. And I hear, and I love that drive toward, until your dream changes, we don't change what we're doing. That's just it, right?
That's exactly it. I think we get sidetracked and we get thrown off our goal, and we get slowed down. Like, even if we go on a bad date, another bad date, and then we want to go home and eat brownies and something unhealthy to cope with these bad dates. No, we stay firm in that every day is part of our journey to get to where we're going. And we know that we just need to meet one guy. And that next date may be our last date, our last first date. So just remembering, everything's new, slate's clean, we're still going forward, and we're getting closer. When we go on these dates, I like this, and that about this guy. I didn't like this, and this. So next time, hopefully I can find something that feels good. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I tell you, as you're saying this, I hear that regardless of what happens, if we have a bad day, it's just a bad day, but that doesn't change our dream. And if it's a good day, it doesn't change our dream. I had someone, I don't know if you know Travis Sago, he's got a phrase that I've loved. He said, when we go on vacation, he goes, if we're going to Miami, he goes, if the car breaks down, we don't say, okay, we're not going on vacation. No, we're still going on vacation. We just fix the car or whatever. If there's a hole in the roof, we just get it patched, but we're going on vacation. If we got to take a detour, and that's what this reminds me of, is that, hey, it's falling in love with what you want. That's what we're doing. Good. The weather's bad. Have a flat tire, whatever. We're not going to detour and to eat brownies and just start all over again. Because I find folks, when they start doing that, I don't know if start over is the right thing, but they dig themselves into a hole again, and they get into this loop of just, it didn't work again. I tried one more program. Well, this is not a theory-based thing. That's why I like this so much as, I mean, especially when those shows, Today's Show, and they call you on, I mean, you don't get on those unless you produce results. I know that. They got a lot of people to choose from. So it's the fact that you've been there with this.
Absolutely. So I think what it is it's building discipline. Like, so I've been trying to lose weight my whole life, Bob. And recently I've been successful. And I never could have done it until I built out this new mindset. And what that mindset was I fell in love with the discipline of what I was going to do. I decided every day at 9 o'clock I was going to work out. And then midday I'd probably go on a walk, and then I'd go stretch at night. And it took a shitload of my time. Like, that's 3 workouts I got to take care of. But I built that discipline because that's what I'm going to do. And what happened, like everyone who's trying to lose weight, is I decided I couldn't handle the mental up and down. So I was just going to weigh in every Monday. But occasionally on Monday, my weight would be up 2 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever. And for 4 weeks in a row, my weight was either stagnant or up a little bit. And I was starting to lose it. But I stuck to the idea of, well, I've built this discipline of I'm going to eat healthy, and my 9 o'clock workout's going to be intense, and then my 2 other workouts. And finally, on the 5th week, my weight came down drastically. And as we know, weight can be very finicky with water and other things. So it was partially like dumb luck. But since I was on this discipline, it was coming. And I had to realize, even when I saw the scale, and it pained me every time, Mike, stay on this discipline journey. And that's the same with this dating. I'm going to go online Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 8:30. Mike said I need to do 30 minutes 3 times a week. I'm going to stick to this. Even if it goes right, wrong, sideways. This is the discipline that I've built for myself. Mike said I got to go on 1 date a week. He said if I meet 6 to 8 men, I'm probably going to find someone I like. Now, that's the math of it. Things go weird sometimes. Sometimes you meet the guy at date 3. Sometimes you meet the guy at date 15. Normally, it's 6 to 8. But I'm going to do this process. While I'm in a good enough mindset where I can show up to the day and be happy, I will keep going. If for some reason my mindset is shot, it is okay to take a few week break, but then I will come back to the discipline and I will get my result no matter what. When women have that mindset, they get the job done.
I can see that because I see folks doing that in other areas, whether it's their career. I've talked to women in their career, that's how they got there. I've seen folks do that in bad ways, where they were just determined to have an affair and they just stuck with it. And I mean, given enough time, they're going to have an affair. So, I mean, the science behind that I've seen work in a lot of different ways. I mean, good or bad, whichever way you use it. So I know that if I'm a woman listening to this, I'm like, where's this been? I mean, there's everything on the internet, but like, where's this practical, tangible? You have something where you go more in depth with this, and I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to offer everyone here. And when Mike was telling me about this initially, I'm like, okay, it sounds neat. The more I heard about it, I'm like, no, actually, this is really great. This would be something practical, tangible, and I'm always in love with stuff that produces results. Love that. Tell us a little bit about what you've got for everyone watching this.
Yeah. I created this a number of years ago because I wanted everyone to have access to this. My life goal has been to get people to fall in love and stay in love. It's just, for me, that's one of the most important things I can offer to the world. And I realize not everyone can afford coaching, or not everyone's going to sign up because, maybe they just don't want it. So I wanted to give them access to this system in more detail for free. So I built a webinar, but it delivers exactly what I wanted it to deliver. So I got some help. So I really invested in this. So I wanted to give that to your community. It's like a 40 or 50-minute webinar, and it just walks you through the process and shows you all the nuances and uses and gives you access to all the data. You can't spend the next 10, 20 years learning data science and going to eHarmony, Match, and OkCupid and analyzing millions of data points. So I just give you their findings and let you execute that. So I'm going to give all of this for free. I will say some folks, not many, have been able to execute this without my help. But the people that get the high success rate, the 83%, the folks that, frankly, if they don't quit, it's 100% success rate. They have to work with me, because there's a very big difference between, trying to lose weight. You're like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, or having someone who basically holds your hand and does it with you. And that's what I do. And that's why the success rate's so high, Bob, is I go on Zoom, I log into their match account, and I start doing it with them and for them and together as a team. And that's a little bit different than saying, hey, watch this video and then try to figure it out. Some people will. Go ahead.
No, because you're saying that everyone that's watching knows, one of my things is the done with you coaching. So whenever I hear someone offering that, and what he's talking about, I love, is because it's the same thing where we just love to, you wouldn't say it this way, but it's like, get out of my way. I know what you want, and I'm not saying, we're not talking about asking crazy stuff, but, and usually I'm thinking of those folks that I've got a few clients, like if they've tried and tried, and they're just like, will you just do this for me? Sure. And so I don't do this, but you do, which is what I like so much. And I love the fact that for some folks, if they want to do it themselves, it certainly can be done. Absolutely. There's a lot of folks that buy my ebooks and they're good. But there is something about having someone go in and do it for you, not have to guess wrong. Because I found a lot of times is that what is successful and what is not working feels the same. It just feels that discouraging, all that, and having someone say, no, this one's right, and this one no, without having to kind of sort through it and stuff, because we end up guessing a lot. And I get some clients a lot, I don't know if you do too, of just, am I doing this right? And they don't understand. And it's not put down. They just don't know. Well, you said to do this. Yes, I did say that, but that means da 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 versus. So that's the benefit I'm hearing you say, like when someone does it with you.
Oh, yeah. And things come up and they need to have access to ask questions. Like, let's say they send their 50 messages. Well, one, maybe they got their pictures wrong, because we hire a professional photographer for them, get the pictures right. And maybe they didn't write the profile well, which frankly, 95% of profiles written are pretty freaking awful. So we need to get the profile right. And then let's say they send their 50 messages and they only get 4 responses. Well, Mike, how do I handle that? Or let's say they get 30 responses instead of the 12. Mike, I have way too much. How do I filter this? Mm-hmm. So you kind of need access to handle as things come up. And, oh, Mike, this guy responded this way. What should I do? Hey, Mike, I haven't heard from him on a date. What do I do? Hey, Mike, this guy seems great. What should I ask him to make sure he actually qualifies? How do I not waste time? I've been dating this guy for a month. Is this the right guy? Hey, I've got 2 options. Which one sounds better? And we got to talk through this stuff and optimize time. If folks are like, I need to optimize my time, I'm busy, or I am just tired of dating someone for 6 months to find out it wasn't my life partner, we can help you with that and make sure you get it right and be on your team and support you.
So I hear that, especially that you are an extension of their team and that they really don't have to do it on their own, that it's there for them if they want to. So if you're watching this, Mike's the first one I found that does it this way. And that really interested me. There are a lot of us that do it different ways, but he does it this way. And I love, done for you or as close to done for you things as I can get. I know Mike's in them, I'm in masterminds, and we found, that just being in that with someone, accountability is, kind of a dirty word at times, but it's just being around that. You tend to gravitate toward those people that are closest toward you. And I've noticed this, good or bad. And so whether it's you doing it or at least implementing this system, at least maybe even trying it first, and then if you want to get help later, you can do that with him. But it doesn't have to be a struggle anymore. It doesn't have to. And that's why I'm excited to bring this to you. So we'll have a link down here below. And if you'll take a look at that, again, it's the free webinar, free details, so you can get your feet wet in it, give it a taste, and you'll have information to follow up with him if you like. But at the very least, now you know there's an option. Now you know that it doesn't have to be the same old stuff, same old one app after the other kind of stuff, or one app after another kind of stuff, is that Mike's giving you an option now. And I haven't known him long, but the people I've known have raved about him. So I'll be more than happy to get together with him. So Mike, anything you want to share with us before we go?
Yeah, I just want all the women out there to know that it's your time now.
Hmm.
I can't tell you, Bob, how many women I've talked to that, took a break from dating to raise children or took a break to make their career happen. And all their money goes to their children or goes to something else. But I want them to know that it's okay. Like, now is your time to finally invest in yourself. And so even if you don't want to spend any money and you just want to watch this video for free, that's fine. But when you decide to invest in yourself, and for many of you, this might be your first investment, or I want you to know it's okay and you freaking deserve this. And I am in the industry of helping people fall in love. And this is what if you want this for yourself and it is the top priority, and this is what you must do right now, I am your guy. Let me navigate this with you and for you, and let's do it together.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was nice to have you. And thanks for this offer for folks, especially for those that it's their time. And we'll look forward to having you back. And we'll let everyone know about you. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Bob. I really appreciate it.